In our most recent thrilling episode of In the Mouth of Madness, our fearless adventurers embarked on a perilous new quest. A harrowing battle with the enigmatic Shadow King revealed a chilly doomsday vision. A world consumed by flames brought on by the infamous Spear of Longinus. Now, our intrepid crew is in pursuit of the so-called Spear of Destiny, a sacred relic promising unparalleled power on the battlefield. Their mission has led them into the shadowy world of undercover operations, with Heinrich Bruhl, an MI6 undercover operative, tangled in the dangerous web of the SS, holding key intelligence on the Spear. Long before the war engulfed the globe, Der Fuhrer claimed this potent artifact. However, Bruhl has uncovered a clandestine plot orchestrated by a mysterious figure in a red cloak peddling white roses on the streets of Frankfurt. As our heroes prepared to infiltrate the heart of the Nazi regime, Bruhl unveiled a shocking revelation. The spear has been swapped with a counterfeit. Undeterred, our valiant team assumes roles within the German army, with Mr. Arcane employing his astral skills for a little reconnaissance. In the cobblestone streets of Frankfurt, Mr. Arcane spotted the peculiar flower peddler wielding magical marionettes to steal trinkets from entranced victims. This master manipulator bewitched a young woman with the allure of the white roses. Mr. Arcane had barely returned to his body as the German caravan was beset upon by the mighty Crusaders, forcing our undercover heroes to thwart the ambush to keep their identities secret. With Bruhl now at their side, they devise a plan within the confines of the German barracks. A rendezvous in the heart of the city awaits, where they aim to unravel the mystery surrounding the flower peddler and uncover the fate of the true Spear of Destiny. Bruhl's driver will be bringing them into Frankfurt this morning, and a case containing their belongings will lie in wait in the back of a local tavern called Der Stille Grief. Translates as the Silent Griffin. So, is there anything that you guys wish to do before you take the trip into Frankfurt?
No, not for my.
Okay. You guys get up in the morning, catch a little breakfast. The cover for your actions is the fact that you were being brought to the barracks to catch a little bit of rest. But at this point, you, as your German identities, have been given a couple of days of R&R in Frankfurt. So no questions really are asked when you board the truck to head into town. Bruhl's driver takes you in and drops you off on the street, not too far from the Silent Griffin. And he points to the location that you're supposed to be going to. And this guy is one of Bruhl's undercover guys. So you don't have to be too careful around him. Now, don't forget, you all have the earpieces that will help translate for you. You, again, probably need to be careful in dealing with the locals and try to kind of, maybe hide your mouth while you're talking so that they don't see your lips moving in a different manner than what the German that is coming out of it would be.
Okay.
But the Silent Griffin is a pretty small little tavern. And is made of kind of like almost like a limestone kind of structure. Um, the You've been told to go around back to get your belongings, and this would be all of the necessities if you feel like you need them. So any of your weapons and stuff like that, or costume pieces or so forth that you feel like you need, you are welcome to go and get those first.
Okay. Well, for my part, I don't really need anything. Do the rest of you?
No, I'm good.
I would like several things. However, need and working with being undercover, none of the above, I think, really.
Okay. So we go as is.
I guess.
You guys have arrived roughly about 10 o'clock in the morning, and the streets are alive with passersby, and shops are beginning to open, and so forth. There are cobblestone streets here in this area of Frankfurt. Buildings are kind of stacked in rows, one connected to the next as you go. You probably might kind of think of it as being.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You might kind of think of it as being kind of maybe a little bit like the brownstone type homes in New York City, the way that it's kind of structured. But the streets are a bit serpentine. They're not, just straight shots in a block, so they kind of weave back and forth. But there's different shops that are opening up. There's a shoemaker, there's a baker, there's a tailor shop, and little booths that kind of open up along the street as well. There's a flower shop, a watchmaker, all different sorts around. So, and as I said, it's a little bit of a hustle and bustle, so there are certainly people around.
And we are in we're in civilian clothes for this, right? Touristy type stuff.
It's really up to you which way you really wanted to go about this. If you wanted to still be in the military guard, you can be, or if you wanted to come in as civilians, you could do that as well.
Probably easier to blend in if we, look like your average crowd. I'm afraid if we go in uniform, someone might expect us to go do something.
Agreed. It's kind of how I was thinking.
Also, might cause people to clam up in case anybody's talking about anything. Because...
Yeah, that's another good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
yes,
are
we're
just,
tourists.
ordinary Hans and Franz here. We are not suspicious at all. Please, I would like some sausage.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know how this works. Well, if we're not posing as soldiers anymore, as Nazis, do we have to put on this act, or?
Yeah, we're still deep in enemy territory.
Let's say we're still at war. I would say not tourists. I don't know how much tourism goes on
Yeah,
in Germany
you
right
don't
now.
generally have tourists when people are dropping bombs on you.
No, but you
Okay.
know, we work in sales. Salesmen are everywhere.
We still need to be pretty German, though.
Germans sell things
Yeah.
like sausage, for instance.
Ugh.
It all ties back together.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, I'll take your lead. This is far outside my experience. I don't know. Soldiers we are, or Nazis we are.
So I guess we want to find this guy.
With the creepy puppets, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, as they as they say here, das Puppetin, Masterin. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh boy. We're all gonna die.
On the bright side, I seem to be his favorite kind of target.
I'm not sure that fitting someone's victim profile necessarily Is the
Well, he
bright
might
side?
not run away.
Well,
Maybe.
it may get his attention,
That's true.
but I mean, he used those puppets to infiltrate the base too.
Do you
Mhm.
know where he was? Like, do you remember?
I mean, generally speaking, I think I do.
Yeah, I think you could probably kind of work your way
Looks
into an area that looks familiar. Yeah.
it looks a little different, so give me a minute. But let me just, he kind of looks up and looks around and tries to orient himself a bit.
Yeah, and
And
you're probably not too far from the area where you saw that alley. Now, he had kind of walked through, several different streets, until
yeah,
he found his marks. So, you're within the area for sure. I mean, if you want to
yeah.
head directly to that alleyway, you certainly could.
I mean, it'll probably take him a few minutes to wander around. I mean, because he can't like just float through buildings and stuff right
Hmm.
now. So I mean, it'll Jesus, it'll probably take a few minutes. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's no, it's over here.
Okay.
And make a reason feat for me there, Mr. Arcane.
And that was how we ended up in Dusseldorf.
Right. This doesn't look like Albuquerque.
One of Weird Al's better songs.
You know, they
And
don't
that's
have
saying something.
they don't have GPS. I've been watching Masters of the Air, and the guys are there with a compass and a stopwatch trying to figure out where they're going and where they are based on how long they've been flying at a given speed.
It's like the
Oh,
hunt for
God.
Red October.
One
Yeah,
pig.
you seem to remember that the area that he kind of found his marks was an area that had a lot more kind of street vendors down it. So you kind of walk down the streets a little bit, kind of get your bearings, and then you kind of spot a few little vendors that you remember kind of lining the street close to the area where he found the women to sell the roses to. There was a woman you remember in searching your memory that was kind of a vendor of like curiosities,
Okay.
little German dolls and like Russian nesting dolls and stuff like that. Just stuff that she was bringing in from different parts of the world and selling them. And there was also there was a watchmaker shop nearby as well. So you spot the little lady on the corner that's selling the curiosities, and then directly across from that, you remember that being the watchmaker. So
Okay.
you feel like this is certainly the area
Gotta be the area.
that you were in. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll walk over to her little whatever cart or booth or whatever, and I'll say good morning, Fraulein.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Oh, it's a beautiful day today. Are you here to take a look at my wares?
Oh yes. And I'll say as I'm like brushing my face or whatever to kind of you know obscure my face a little bit. And oh yes. This looks nice, but I was hoping to buy some flowers, some roses. Right, they were roses.
Yes.
Some roses.
Oh, I am sorry I do not have any roses there. There is a flower shop just down the street, about a block and a half down the street this way.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll look and find. We do have, I assume, some money. I guess some
Yeah, you
pocket
got
money.
some spare money. Yep.
Okay. And so I'll look for something small. Um, I don't know what she might have, but something small, and I'll buy something just to
Mhm.
kind of um, not have her be overly suspicious, I guess. So,
Do you have children?
oh no, ma'am. No, I mean, no, Fraulein.
Oh, a girlfriend?
No, no, no. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man.
Well, what sort of things interest you?
I love books. Do
Oh,
you have any
books.
books?
Oh, I have some cookbooks.
Oh, yes. I would love that.
Oh, well, just a moment. She reaches down underneath and she starts to kind of rifle through a box, and she pulls out like three German and Austrian style cookbooks.
Which one do you recommend? Which one is your favorite?
Oh, well, of course, this one is my favorite. My grandmother wrote this uh,
Oh,
back in the late 1800s, so it is some old recipes. But
oh,
this is certainly my favorite. I have many copies of this at home,
oh,
and I
okay.
love to share it with people. You are not from here, I assume. I do not recognize you. I know most of the people that come up and down the street daily.
Oh, no, no. Stationed here, nearby.
Ah, well,
He lives.
I'm
Uh,
happy to welcome you to our town, and I hope that you enjoy the book.
oh yes, and I'll pay for it, and I'll even tip her. Well, uh, what's your favorite recipe? I'll make that first.
Oh, the Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay. A classic, of course. Thank you, Fraulein.
Oh, good day to you, sir. Good day.
Hmm. I'll take the book, I'll thumb through it, and I'll stick it in my bag. I'm like, she totally bought it. I'm a spy now.
Just so convincing.
I'm a spy. So, okay, well, I think he might be in this direction.
You did a great job not reacting when she asked about a girlfriend.
Wait, thank you. I
She
think
strolls
I'm-
along looking
am
at
I-
various vendors.
Wait, am I in trouble? I don't.
Will leans in and goes, "If she says she's fine, run."
Oh, wait. Right. Hmm. Okay. Right. So anyway, probably this way. I think this way for sure. This.
Now, are you heading towards the alley or down in the direction where she was talking about the flower shop?
Um. Well. I mean, it occurs to me she means an actual shop and probably not this guy. So I'll keep going towards the alleyway.
It does occur to me that the flower shop people will probably be pissed off about somebody running around selling white roses and
Yeah.
corner,
Right.
elbowing in on their biz, and maybe they,
Oh yeah.
be willing to. So I think Shelly's gonna briefly. She's like, I want to check out the flower shop.
Okay, we can do that.
You go down the road in the direction that she kind of pointed, and passing a lot of shops on the way. You do spot there's a store that has like two like multi-tiered shelves that have like potted plants out in front and beautiful kind of floral displays that are spread out on these large like table like shelf type contraptions. And then over the door, there's a sign that kind of comes out perpendicular to the building. Just a wooden sign that is hanging there by a couple of chains that says Becker's Floral Shop in German, of course.
I want to take a look around before I begin any sort of gambit here, and I want to make sure that they don't have white roses out.
Doesn't seem like they've got any white roses there. Really, honestly, probably not the time of year normally for those.
Right, perfect. So now I can talk about how I heard that someone was selling white roses. So yeah, I'll browse through, looking around, and then I'll casually mention, to the side so that nobody can see her mouth to whoever happens to be next to her. I was really hoping they'd have the white roses I heard about.
And the woman behind the counter is a middle-aged woman, hair kind of pulled up in a very tight bun, and kind of sandy brown hair. She hears you say that, and she goes, "Ah," and she
Oh,
spits.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did I say something?
no, my apologies. I apologize. The white roses, we do not have those right now, but you have seen these white roses, I take it?
I heard about them. I heard they were lovely, but I haven't seen them. I thought maybe get a couple. It'd be a nice curiosity. Something I've never seen before.
Hmm. She spits again.
But since I'm here, and she'll find, something, just, like a nice little something.
Yeah, there's a nice peace lily there.
Perfect.
That is in beautiful condition. I mean, it's obvious that this woman really takes care of the plants that come into her shop, and she puts nice little ribbons and bows and stuff like that around the pots just to kind of dress them up a little bit. So they're perfect little gifts, for the locals.
Cool. Yeah, she'll get that. A little something to show for her trip that makes it look a little bit more legit, as one is wandering about shopping and whatnot.
And she says, "Oh, you've made a wonderful choice. The peace lily is something that will bring much happiness to your home."
How
I
big is this plant?
It's probably about 2 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like yay at the bottom?
Actually, it's a fairly small
Okay.
pot that
Okay.
it's in.
Okay.
So yeah, it's fairly easy to carry.
I'm
Okay.
super inconspicuous carrying this plant around. Sure.
Right.
Oh,
But see, I can hide behind it. So when I talk to people, they won't see my face.
I mean, that is true. You've acquired a shrub.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have camouflage.
All right. It didn't occur to me to buy a shrub on this mission. That was good thinking. All right, let's go.
If we run into the knights who say knee, we're all set.
That is true.
Like, so, we could get a box we could hide in and walk around.
Well, I must ask you, as I am finishing the transaction here. You said you have heard of the white roses. Where did you hear about these?
Oh, there were a couple girls on the train.
And they had the roses themselves?
I don't believe so. They said that they saw a man selling them, and they couldn't get in because there was a cluster and they didn't have time or something, and they wanted them, but they were sad or something. I don't know. I was trying, really. I wasn't actually trying to eavesdrop, just couldn't help me. But here.
Well, I must say that if you see this man, this elusive flower seller, I've caught wind of him flitting about the streets. I have not seen him myself, but it is my understanding he sells them to the well-off, they say, and then drains them of every penny.
Oh, wait, so he's a thief?
Oh, yes, he is a thief. Gypsy roots, they whisper. Tied to
gypsies.
some secretive group out in the woods practicing dark magic like a tragic love story, my dear.
Well, that sounds like superstition. There's no such thing.
Ah, well, yes, but those woods out there, They are known to claim lost souls in their enchanted embrace.
Oh,
So if you are not
Oh,
from here, I would advise not traveling to the east.
I see. Well,
Oh, surely that's just and let's see, what would he say? A tall tale um over some missing children or scorned lovers or something. This is the modern age, man.
No, do not turn a blind eye to the tall tales, because there is much truth that can be gleaned from tales that are passed among those of us that live here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. That's fair. I
Ju-
I didn't mean to be rude.
Oh,
Ju-
no,
I
no,
didn't mean
no, no, not rude, not rude.
Just for my own edification, would the forest to the east of here happen to be part of the Black Forest?
Yes, you know your area very well.
I do, thank you.
like the cake.
I have. Yeah, exactly.
He holds up the cookbook.
Oh, that is a very good book. You visited my friend just down the way. That's her grandmother's.
I
Thank you.
did. She said.
She sent us away to you.
Thank you so much for all of your help.
Well, we do try to help one another out here on the streets.
Shelly hugs her Lily, and
So, I don't know how familiar the rest of you guys are with the Black Forest, but
sounds dark.
going back hundreds of years, there are stories coming out of there. I mean, that's where a lot of the Brothers Grimm tales are set. It's been a kind of strange, weird, wild area since before humanity crawled up out of the bog.
Wow.
Oh yes, I know. I was being a spy.
I figured.
Well, I didn't know, so thank you. So does that mean we need to go look for them in the spooky forest?
Well,
She
somebody
seems to
who
think that he's from there.
somebody who has walking marionettes and is doing weird, creepy magic. I mean, that would be on brand.
Does
Well,
make a
and
certain
his-
degree of sense.
And his magic is chaos magic, and let me say Fey too. So
Yeah.
that sounds
Mhm.
very much like perhaps the magic that would be found there.
Yeah, I'm like, my expertise is like in this area, like right there, and like all of that stuff is outside of my. But your expertise is clearly there, so I think we need to be guided by you on this one 100%.
Well, we'll see. We should be careful because as I was, again, being an excellent spy, these things can be dangerous, and be careful about making any agreements, even in, passing with any of these people we may meet.
Yes, I've heard stories.
Also,
I
don't
assumed.
don't accept food, and don't accept the concept that they've done you a favor, much less thank them for the favor.
Wow,
Right.
that's a lot.
Well, we should just be careful.
Okay.
I mean, if they're real, then all the stories might be, and the stories are bad. They're bad. They're bad.
Well, good, bad. It's hard to
Good,
say.
bad. I'm the one with the gun.
I mean, yeah. I used to think good, bad, it's hard to say too, and then I touched something, and I learned about bad. So
Yeah, we've had some experience with bad lately.
Well, I just mean as a general, like those people are bad.
Oh, yeah,
hard
yeah, yeah.
to say.
okay,
They're probably just trying to survive, especially in the middle of a war zone, and not being incredibly popular anyway.
Yes.
Wow, that mic really works.
Oh, sorry.
Hello.
My earphones just went whee.
So do we want to try that today? I don't know, like how long,
But it's
how
still
far.
it's still relatively early, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean you're talking 10:30, 10:45 right now.
I mean,
Well, I mean, he could be here in the city or
he could be,
town, village.
but I like the idea of checking the woods before it gets dark because the idea of being in the Black Forest at night is not something I'm super comfortable with.
And he just got a decent haul from what you were saying from your little trip.
Well, that's what it looked like, yeah. Well,
So
plus the
he
spear.
probably wants to go and tuck that away. I mean, if I was out, doing sneaky thievery stuff, I would probably want to go and stash my ill-gotten gains before taking a chance of getting discovered or anything.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can look and see if he's here, and then if he is, then that gives us some choices. If we know that he's here, we could, I don't know, maybe go poke around in the forest while it's still light out. I mean, I can conjure us some light.
What's our plan when we find him?
I mean, well, I mean, okay. So here's the deal. We believe he has the spear,
Yes.
so we need the spear.
Yes.
And if he's still stealing, I'm not. I mean, surely he has some skill or some. He has some tools. Let's say it that way. He has some tools. We know he has some tools. He has the flowers, which bear an enchantment, and the marionettes, which are clearly enchanted. And there were traces of both of those. Well, there were traces of those things where the spear was, and I witnessed the event in the alley. So we know that he has some skill, but we don't know what the extent of that is, and he's still stealing. So, I mean, surely he would know what he had if he has some sort of skill.
I'm telling you,
But-
he did that for somebody else.
Okay,
We
all
need
right.
to get him. We need to get our hands on him. We need to find out who he was working for and who got the spear.
Or just to play kind of both sides against the middle, just in case. We put eyes on him and we follow him back to where he is to see if maybe he has stuff squirreled away there. Because if he
Okay.
doesn't know what he has somehow, he might just have it squirreled with all the other stuff that he's grabbed.
I cannot imagine he doesn't know, but
It seems
mean,
baffling.
Yeah,
but
I agree. If he's got any, from what you guys have been telling me, this thing is like, just dripping with, big magic juice. If he's got any kind of magic stuff at all, it's got to be going off in his face.
right.
Okay, I mean, we could just put the grab on him. Where do we take him?
Yeah, I mean, he might be afraid of trying to sell it because whoever he tries to sell it to could just kill him and take it. He may be trying to arrange some way he can get rid of it safely and profitably, which is probably means we got a narrow window.
Well, maybe he just hasn't moved on yet, right? I mean, she called him a gypsy. I mean, they move around, right?
They do.
They
I
go from place to place. Maybe it's just not time for him to move yet. I mean, I don't know.
I remember when Heinrich was telling us about how they got it. And it was a whole cartload of those roses. It was a whole production.
Gotcha.
And that does not match what he does from what
Yeah, what
we-
if he hid it in the cart? They do that,
Oh, yeah, good point. See,
But-
Tank, you'd be a good spy too.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was clearly working outside of his usual thing, right? He was doing a big thing, targeting the barracks. Like normally he goes after, rich girls who like pretty flowers, and all of a sudden he's like, that's a big move for that. So I don't.
Maybe
think
he didn't
just-
realize it was there.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
he
sounds
just
like he just stumbled into it. Like, you rob someone, you think they got, only a little money on them, and you find out they're like some big mobster, and now you're in for it.
right. Well,
I don't
I
buy
don't
it.
know. I think the next move is to find him.
Well, yeah,
Not
definitely.
that I know anything about robbing people. Just let's be clear on that.
Well, I knew a couple of
Okay.
guys who had sticky fingers back in the day, but I didn't associate it with them
Shut
if I could
up,
help it.
Rocket.
We're gonna have to give Rocket his own credits, I think.
Well, he's currently locked out, but he is still meowing endlessly.
Fortunately, your mic's not picking that up, so
Yep.
Yeah.
right on. Yeah, let's look around town. I mean, there's no harm in spending a little time doing that and making sure we're not, missing out on a chance to grab him here.
Could always
It'd be
scout
silly.
ahead.
Yeah, it would be silly if we went into the forest and he was still here.
Right. Okay. Well, let's head in that direction that I saw him before. Now that we've got an idea. Now that we know a little bit more about him.
I think if we go into the forest, we should probably make a trip back to the bar and grab a few things.
Sure. Sure. And put away your peace lily.
Yes. I wouldn't want anything to happen. It's very pretty. I like it.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if it's gonna make the trip all the way back home, but
Feel like that's a no.
we'll see. If nothing else, I can get.
You've never tried to take something like that through customs, have you?
No,
Okay.
I've never gone through customs actually.
Oh, really? Okay, good luck.
Yeah, they didn't really fly us commercially.
The department, you think that the OSS is tough, but the Department of Agriculture does not mess around with foreign fruits and vegetables. It's just ridiculous.
Hey. Things I did not know as a spy.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna have you guys roll a reason, or actually intuition. I think intuition roll, please.
Would
Intuition.
detective/espionage skill help?
Sure.
Oh.
Ooh,
Hey, on fire.
Ooh, look at that.
that's a lot of yellows.
That is a lot of yellows.
We're good spies.
All right. Well, with those rolls, that would certainly be a good group roll there for the vast majority of you. You meander about, talk to a couple more locals, and everything does kind of come together. The vast majority of the folks that you actually end up speaking to talk about the mysterious man with the flowers. Some have seen him. Some have confirmed that he does target women. Others do say that he targets fancy-suited men. He tends to kind of stay away from the locals, but he certainly has a thing for folks that exude the fact that they carry some money with them.
So he's just targeting rich people, basically, is what he's.
It does seem so, yes. All of them have this kind of feel that he is of gypsy blood, and most of them have stated that when he comes and goes, he comes and goes from the east. So it all does kind of match up with what the flower shop owner had kind of told you. It seems like that's kind of where he's coming from. Now, none of the folks you've talked to have fallen victim to him, and none of them have really had direct interactions with him. The locals here know pretty much just to kind of keep their distance. just simply because even the ones that maybe don't even see the kind of potential mysticism that this guy may possess, they they recognize his manner of dress as being someone who would be either a vagrant or an outsider, a gypsy of some sort. So they just keep their distance from him.
Is there anyone that we've talked to? And I mean, I realize we've only talked to just a handful of people, but is there anyone that we've talked to that has had like a negative interaction with this guy and feel like they've got some kind of, gypsy curse or bad root or something that he put on them, or no? Because I mean, you know how stories like that happen, where they're like, "Oh no, he
Yep.
gave me the evil eye," and blah blah. You know what I mean?
She turned me into a newt.
A newt.
I go better. I have a follow up once you have that done.
The interesting thing is with the folks that you've spoken with, and as you said, it's a handful. Maybe about 6 or 7
yeah.
people in total. None of them have had any kind of direct interaction with him.
Okay.
And everything that you are hearing is rumor.
Okay.
I heard from so and so that he took
Right.
this, or so and so told me about him. I've never actually seen him, but I've
Right.
heard about him, and so forth. So, yeah, no, nobody has actually
Okay.
had a direct interaction with him.
Well, that's good for us.
Based on what Will knows about a couple of things, is there any SS or Gestapo interest in this person that we're able to glean?
There was one individual that you spoke with that says he was an older gentleman, looked, pretty official, but ragged.
Mhm.
And he, through the conversation, kind of made you believe that he was maybe a retired military officer.
Okay.
And his description was, the mysterious merchant, you say. I've heard whispers among the old wives that he's peddling his wares to the wealthy lot in the city. Not the locals, mind you, but those big-shot businessmen. They end up flat broke, penniless and face down in some dark corner. It's a curious thing. So, as far as any other, officials there in town, he's about the closest that you found. You guys would be the only ones there that would be, the soldiers on leave, and even you now are not presenting as such.
So it hasn't quite broken into any kind of official channels yet, but if this retired guy has it, then it's kind of potentially on the verge of doing so?
Either that or the SS may potentially just be waving this off as as Mr. Arcane suggested, some old wives' tale.
Okay.
And there's always suspicion, of the outsiders, within the community. They tend to ostracize anyone, that is coming in from the outside. And if this is certainly gypsies, there's nothing that the SS really is worried about that the gypsies are going to be up to something. They're always up to something, but anything that they would do is not going to touch them.
Right, but that's why I specified the Gestapo as well, because they do round up gypsies.
They would round them up, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they're not actively looking for the dude?
Doesn't seem to be right
Okay.
now, no.
Cool.
Seems like he's good at not being where they are.
It's an important skill.
Yeah, especially when we're dealing with Nazis. You definitely don't want to be where Nazis are unless you want to hit them.
That is correct.
In which case, you want to be where they are.
That is also correct.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess field trip to the Black Forest.
Righty. Do the rest of you want to get your things?
Are you
I
gathering,
just want to
gathering your
get the
weapons?
sword.
Okay.
I'll hide it under my coat.
Well, let's make sure you've got your stuff.
Yeah, I got a
who all
kraut
is
gun.
picking up stuff?
Ain't as good as the American guns. But the only thing they do well is beer. And I really don't want to go into a pub here. Might raise too many eyebrows.
Pretzels and sausage.
A good stiff drink, and my sword. Maybe not in that order. Or, maybe in that order.
No, maybe in that order. I would probably be a much better spy with a cocktail.
I mean, I heard it's an excellent prop.
All right. Well, after those of you that need to pick stuff up, do so at the Silent Griffin. You make your way to the outskirts of town, which takes you about 15 minutes or so just to get, to the edge of town. And just outside the city walls are just fields of farmland and so forth that kind of stretch out, and you can see the Black Forest on the horizon. So it'll take you probably about another. Are you just hiking it out there, I assume?
I mean, there's not a lot of roads in there, are there?
not in there, no.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're hoofing it. So maybe I'll grab my boots as well.
I mean, there's like wagon trails, that would go through there, but it's pretty rough territory for sure.
I think Heinrich would be annoyed if we got his rolls stuck on a backwoods
Cart.
wagon trail.
Yeah.
So, nestled to the east of Frankfurt, the Black Forest unfolds like a tapestry of ancient mysteries and shadows. It's a sprawling expanse of dense woodland and a foreboding landscape that whispers tales of forgotten enchantments and a haunting beauty. There's towering pines and ancient oaks standing sentinel with gnarled branches forming a canopy that shrouds the forest floor in kind of a perpetual twilight. Once you guys get in there, the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and pine. It's kind of a heady perfume that kind of pervades the surroundings. Sunlight kind of trickles through the thick foliage, and it paints little patterns on the moss-covered grounds. The forest path that you're on kind of winds mysteriously, veering into hidden clearings where ancient stones stand as silent witnesses to secrets buried in the soil. In here, time kind of seems to warp, and the boundary between the mundane and the spiritual kind of blurs. Mr. Arcane, you immediately kind of just become filled with this kind of pervading unease, that kind of fills your soul as you go in. And you kind of hear whispers of ancient spells and forgotten rituals that just linger in the air, mingling with the rustle of leaves and the occasional creaking of ancient trunks.
Okay. Well, I will cast a spell if I start hearing whispers. I'll put
Do we still have that mental shield barrier thingamabobber?
Well,
I think that timed out.
Oh well.
Well, I mean, he still has the crown.
I do have the crown.
If he picked it up out of the trunk.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't think to do that. I did not think to do that.
It's a little ostentatious.
Certainly didn't say that I did it. But I will at least go ahead and erect a mental barrier for me because I have that power. And I'll ask, does anyone else hear that?
And you guys do not. I mean, you have a little uneasy feeling being in here that's a little hard to describe. But whispers, you don't hear anything. All you hear is the creaking of the tree branches.
I am gonna ask Dad to take a look from above
Mhm.
and see if he sees any clearings with any wagons or anything in it, anything that looks like a gathering of people, any fires,
Mhm.
anything that would kind of give away a location.
Did
I
we?
imagine he's not too far away if he's working the town.
And I forget, did we give a range as far as how far you can see through his sight? 1 mile. Yep, I see it now. 1 mile. Yeah, so you get a mile range.
So yeah, I'll ask him to get some altitude so he can see a good amount and kind of whatever works best for his ability to see
Hmm.
around.
Yep.
They have really amazing vision, so I don't know what that would be.
Hmm. I think, let me look here. If you want to roll a intuition feat for him.
Sure. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's remarkable.
It is.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Apparently it's foggy.
Yeah. The Black Forest seems to be almost intentionally obscuring the eagle's vision. The whole area here is just thick, with a thick canopy over the entire area, at least for the mile range, that he's flying around.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't hear any whispering. It's I hear branches, some wind.
No. No, that is not what I hear. There is power here. I think I think we're fine for the moment.
Yeah, and
If
oh, go ahead. Hmm.
yeah, if I think this is becoming more dangerous, we can always pull back. There is something I can do, but I would need the crown.
Not to disrespect the old tales and such, but I mean we're far from your lost kids on a mushroom picking tour. I think
Oh no, yeah.
I think we certainly with you and the professor over there, we've got a lot of wisdom and mental fortitude at our disposal.
Well, certainly the professor.
Yeah, and I can hit things real good.
Right?
And you know what? Don't discount that.
It's real handy. Ask Moon Knight sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys continue kind of along this trail into the forest. And from the time that you left the edge of the city, you're about an hour in at this point, with up until now really no signs of any sort of gypsy camp or anything like that. You can see that,
I mean,
carriages.
Hitler was rounding them up, so actual
Mm-hmm.
free-floating Romani would probably be very rare to find.
Yeah. And carriages and wagons have certainly come through here fairly recently, within the last, couple of days probably. But it's not well traveled. Once you get to this point, about an hour in, I'm going to have each of you, number one, make a intuition roll, please.
Did you say a strength roll?
I did not.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
What are you
What
trying
are
to
we
do?
rolling?
Bench press some trees?
Sure, why not?
Sorry, what are we rolling?
Intuition.
Okay.
I mean, not well.
Well, I'll spend a little karma on that.
Yep.
Good.
I don't know why it says the eagle draws a result from a good table.
You probably just had him selected when you were doing that.
That's weird.
Okay, so to get a green.
Oh, to get a green on the incredible would be a 31. So you spend your 10 metal
Okay, so
there.
10. All
You
right.
were not all that far off.
Far enough to get a white. All right, so I'll
Yeah.
spend my
I
10.
rolled a 70 and I still got a green.
For those of you that got a green, you smell a bit of a sweet scent, and it at the moment that you smell it, you're like, that's roses. You can smell the scent of roses. The other two did not really notice it until it's too late. I need all of you to make an endurance feat, please.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Now,
I
those
think I
those
will
of you,
pay. I think I will spend some karma on this just in case.
I
Those-
shall also spend karma.
those
And
of you
boy,
that got the
wow.
greens, can add a column shift to your endurance.
Okay,
I
so
will-
how do I get a white when I'm incredible?
Oh
All
my
right.
god, how do I get a white when I'm incredible?
I will also spend karma.
How much karma do I need to spend to kick it up to a green result then?
I
You
am
would
also
need a
calling karma for a change.
31.
31? Okay.
Wow, and it still says eagle.
Huh.
I have Shelly
31,
selected.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I will also spend
Oh, I
karma.
had them both selected.
Oh,
No, they're paired.
Oh, they
That's
are?
neat.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of cool, actually. Wherever she goes, he goes. Wherever he goes, she goes.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, it's like that'd be great for like games where you have a familiar or something.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Okay.
All right.
Okay, so human tank, you're bumping it to a green, correct?
Yep.
Will, did you bump it?
I also did.
Okay.
Same.
And Bombshell did as well. Okay, so with the greens,
Always eat your greens.
No, don't eat us.
you feel drowsy.
Mm.
And for the next hour,
Mm.
yeah, for the next hour, you're at a -3 column shift on physical actions.
Will is going to activate his Dark Force aura.
Okay.
Does my regeneration do anything about that, or
I don't know. It might. Let's take a look at that. Mr.
I can power
Arcane,
stunt if you would like?
did you spend karma to get it up to a red?
I did spend karma. I did not go to a red. Or I didn't say I went to a red. I don't know. Sure, because I don't think it's that much more.
Okay. So the
Let's see.
red allows you to act as normal. You're not affected. You take a good quick breath and hold it, and then you can kind of take little short
24.
breaths to kind of keep from breathing in that scent.
Oh, okay. So it's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Does this so do I get the impression that so this is inhaled and it's not a spell per se?
It does seem to be inhaled. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something if I have a chance. Do I have a chance?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to use my magic, that general magic roll, and I'm going to try and whip up a wind to kind of clear the air. Little, kind of a little tornado. Not a tornado, but you know what I mean. A little, little wind to get us some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
To hell with your trees.
Yeah. So I will spend karma on that. I think we said remarkable. Okay, so that is a green 47 remarkable. To get it to you, I'll go to yellow because they're obviously suffering. So I'll go to yellow. That'll cost me 20. That'll cost me 20. To go to yellow to try and clear the air for me and them.
Okay. Yep, and you're able to do that. Now, unfortunately, the effects have already taken place on those that have actually inhaled it.
Yep.
Jeff, you had mentioned something about maybe trying to do a power stunt. Do you want to kind of explain to me what you're wanting to try to do?
So basically the idea being that Shelley's metabolism is both enhanced and sort of
Sorry.
hyperactive. So I think it would probably burn through this quicker and possibly be less affected than a normal person. A la Wolverine's kind of, usual thing with toxins and such as well. I've already kind of played it that way with alcohol, so I feel like I've established it a little bit.
Okay.
Though just in roleplay.
So if you want to make an attempt, you can certainly do so. You got to call karma. You got to spend 100 karma points.
And I'm going to be rolling at her endurance, or what's the actual rank of the regeneration?
The regeneration
I
would
think
be
that's only
incredible.
excellent.
It's incredible.
No, it's incredible. It's incredible. That's right.
Oh, wow. That's great.
All right, calling karma. Well, that's not going to be good enough.
Yep, nope. So,
another
first
10.
attempt is a failure.
Those 30, yep.
And it takes 24 hours to do that again.
So, can you recap the situation a second here? I missed something.
You all were walking through the forest, and a couple of them realized at the last moment they smelled the scent of roses. Those of you that got whites, which I think you got a white on that detection,
on the
didn't
detection,
realize it. So you had inhaled the scent of the roses. And so that's where we are right now. Now, where the scent is coming from, you're not quite sure just yet.
Okay, but I did rise to a green on the endurance check.
On the endurance, so that means you're at a -3 column shift on physical actions.
Oh, wow, that ain't good.
A white result would have resulted in you falling asleep for 1 to 10 hours.
Oh, shit.
Even with my strength, 3 column shift puts me down to the human level. Wow.
Wow.
Considering some of the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, 1 to 10 hours, it could have been way worse.
I guess that's true.
That's true, yes. So,
Mr. Arcane, you do now note, after you kind of dissipated the scent, taking a look around at your fellow companions, you can see that some of them have been affected by this, and they seem to be a bit drowsy.
yeah, much like Colossus, I'm still organic, so if I that's one area where none of my defenses really work. Anything I inhale or breathe is still gonna get me. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've cleared the air. There shouldn't be any more, but I can't do anything about the toxins. I can see I will have to do some studying.
Okay, maybe I underestimated the forest a little bit.
Well,
Do you
honestly,
think we
I
should
thought it
sit
was...
down and take a break. Maybe a
Okay.
little nap.
I don't know. I think sitting down when we're this tired, we're just gonna breathe in more roses. I think we got to figure out where this is coming from.
Well, he cleared the air, didn't he?
Well, for the moment... Well, all right, so I look around. Do I see any roses? I mean, we definitely smell them, and we were to varying degrees affected by them.
Do you make a move to push forward yourself?
Well, so what I'll do is I'll cast flight, and I'll get a little altitude and kind of, spin around. I'll kind of circle our group a bit to kind of see if I can see something.
All right, so you take flight and kind of fly through some of the trees and the branches of the canopy, and kind of move forward just a little bit, just doing a little bit of circumference. As you do, you see like a little shimmer of white, and you remember those roses had a little bit of like a kind of a, to your astral sense, you saw like these little sparkles that were kind of coming off of them. That's what catches your attention.
Gotcha.
And you see just like this little, almost like a stream of white off in the distance. And that kind of draws your attention. You're able to kind of get up a little bit closer, and you can see that there is like a definite line of these rose bushes that outline a rather vast area. And it looks like it's curved and kind of going in a circular kind of pattern.
So there's a big hedge of these roses
Correct.
that are in, well, presumably a circle. Are we in or outside of the circle? So is it?
It appears
kind of
that like you are outside of the circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll zip back to them and land and say I found there's a whole hedge of them over there in a circle. I mean, if I didn't know better, I might call it a fairy circle.
We gotta go over to them and like tell them that we hate Hitler, they hate Hitler. Let's all hate Hitler together. Wow, I'm tired.
Are you sure you're up for that?
I'm always up for hating Hitler.
Well, I mean,
It's
this may not be peaceful.
I'm more up for it than anyone else, I guess.
Hey, Shelley,
Shelly just jaw cracking yawn and just like goes to lean up against a tree next to her. Her hand completely misses the tree. She just goes thump onto the ground.
I will help her up.
well, I'll try and catch her before she falls. But
I don't
easy now.
suppose anybody has coffee. Maybe pick us up.
Coffee.
Why would we have brought
be-
coffee? Never mind.
Coffee. Oh, that would be lovely.
Sorry, I can't conjure coffee.
Well, now you
don't
have
think.
something to aspire to.
Well, now I definitely know I need to. All right, I've got some homework to do, but regardless, I mean, we know where they are or where the roses are,
Well-
and
We either go ahead, or we leave, and then we got to do this all over again. And who knows if if it even hits us harder next time. We might as at least we're conscious, right?
okay,
We can push forward.
Let's do this.
We got
Okay.
this.
Once we get moving, once we get the blood pumping,
Yes,
we'll-
jumping jacks.
we're gonna perk right up.
Yes.
okay. I'll
Shelly does
put my
three
shield
jumping
up.
jacks, each more half-heartedly than the last, and then just
stops
it just
like this.
stops.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess Hank will take the lead since everybody else is
Dragging him. Just
dragging ass.
All right.
Oh, look, you conjured a bunch of zombies.
But I will put my magnetic shield up. I'll cast that. I'll drop the flight.
So
and
proud.
I'll cast that spell.
I am the most proud ever.
All right, so you continue along the path, and eventually you do come across the kind of ring of roses, and the path itself kind of cuts through them. So the roses don't block the path, so you can walk through without actually having to touch the roses.
Okay.
As you do, I think just instinct for everyone is probably hold your breath and try to get through as quickly as possible. With the endurance rolls that you had already made, I'll let those count so you don't have to worry about breathing more in, and I'm sure Mr. Arcane is probably also continuing to
Yes.
lift the wind away from you guys to try to give you a clear path. Eventually, off in the distance, you do see just a soft glow of a small, what seems to be firelight. off in the trees. There is a little bit of a quote-unquote clearing, but even this clearing is still kind of covered with, branches and trees and so forth. So there is a definite shadow that kind of pervades this area. There's a lake a little bit further to the north from where you guys are. And I will pull you to the scene here so you can kind of see what it is that you're looking at. Around the campfire, you see a couple of figures. There are two there around the campfire. The one that is right here, the bigger of the two, appears to be like a very tall and muscular albino. He's kind of wearing a little bit of a sock hat.
Oh dear.
And he has one really large, kind of hulking arm, and the other one is a little bitty teeny tiny one that's basically just regular human sized.
Oh, okay. I thought he had like a T-Rex arm.
What's his lucky arm?
It's like the badass psychos in Borderlands. This is no good at all.
Yeah.
But he
It's
kind of
his lucky
wears
arm.
like a red tank top. He's got like a tattoo of a skull and crossbones on one side, and like a band of like almost like a tribal tattoo on the other. And it appears like on where that tribal tattoo is, he's actually got like barbed wire that's kind of wrapped around that big arm that kind of dangles a little bit from it. And it looks like it's actually embedded in the arm.
Oh, like actual barbed wire, not a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. Directly across from him at the fire is a man in a red cloak with a long beard that is spilling out of it. It's kind of hard to make out his features from the angle that you're at, but you can see the little wispy kind of white beard that spills out from the hood. Just up from them, there are two more individuals right up in here. There is a kind of younger gypsy male with a very long mustache and wearing a black vest and white shirt with a kind of a do-rag, red do-rag on his head. And right next to him is a woman in a blue dress with long earrings that have like a crescent-shaped moon hanging from auburn hair.
Yeah,
And
where
then
are we?
they're seated
Oh,
kind
over
of
there. Okay.
amidst this ring of carriages and their caravan, essentially. There's a couple of tents that are kind of set up as well. So this is certainly, you would assume, what they call currently their home in the forest.
Mr. Arcane, do you think you could do your thing and see if you can, if maybe the Spear of Destiny is here, but save us a lot of trouble, honestly.
Yeah. So they haven't seen or heard us yet.
To the best of your knowledge, no.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Yes. So I'll quietly sit down in the brush, right? And then I'll astral project, and or that's what I intend to do, and then I'll try to kind of circle through the camp, and as I'm on the astral, I'll see if I see something, well, that looks like it could be the spear or some trace of it.
Okay.
I'll be honest right now, if it was anyone else, I would think they had just gone to sleep.
All right, so tell me the path that and if you want to take your token and move him
Sure.
where you want him, that'll be fine.
Okay. Well, let's see. So we're over here. So which one? Okay, there I am. So I'll probably, I guess I'll start and go kind of in this direction,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of circle, kind of the exterior of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are you going into any of the carriages?
oh, well, yes. I had intended to go into the carriages. Well, because well, who knows what's in the carriages? So yes, I'll go it. Sorry, big bada boom. So yeah, I'll flit through the carriages as
Mhm.
I am making that circle along the perimeter,
Okay.
and I'm not convinced they can't see me. So I'll still try to be stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't especially have a skill at that, but so kind of going through and
Unless someone
around.
actually tries to stop me, I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm going to show that we're friends by not sneaking around and just kind of going straight up, hands out, no weapons. I'm not surrendering like hands up, but just, hey, I'm kind of lost as far as I saw your light. You got maybe some bread or something? I could, kind of getting hungry out here too. Been walking for hours.
Oh my
Will
gosh.
will make strangled noises and gesture. Just
Well,
And you were
I'll
the
keep
one
going.
saying I'd make a great spy.
that was him.
Kelly was actually knelt down beside Mr. Arcane, making sure he didn't like slump over and bang his head.
Uh-huh.
And when she sees this, and she goes, "No, wait, stop."
No way.
I think to avoid scaring them, I will be in human form.
Okay.
I have a great feeling about this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, so in the order of kind of how this was going, I'm going to go back to Mr. Arcane really
Okay.
quickly. This first carriage that you kind of explored, this one is rather extravagant, and obviously probably belongs to a woman.
Okay.
There is a definite kind of magical feel to this particular carriage.
Okay.
It's draped in these extravagant kind of draperies of like reds and golds and purples. There's a lot of little trinkets around that all kind of have a little bit of varying kind of magical kind of quality to them. Nothing that's really outrageous, but items of minor power, little talismans.
Okay, so like a hedge wizard or like a hedge witch.
Right. Yeah.
Or
I
something.
mean, you nailed that exactly. There's no one in here, and there's no sign of the spear in this particular one. The one directly across that you had gone over to, this one right here.
Yep.
This one is very simple, mundane. Looks like it probably belongs to one of the men. There are little pots of plants all over the place inside here. I think your assumption would probably be that's probably your peddler. Now, there's no sign of the white roses in here.
Okay.
But lots of plants for sure. And then you were coming out of this one and then kind of moving into this area right in here, I think.
Is this a structure or is it?
That's a tent.
Okay.
And
I mean, I might as well hit that one, and I don't know. You tell me when Tank catches up to me.
Well, I'm not trying to meet you. You guys can keep sneaking. I'm not going to say, oh, by the way, here's my buddies, down there and up there.
And this area here just seems to be where they're keeping all of their ale. So you've got a bunch of barrels and stuff that are underneath this particular tent. Now, while you were there, I'm going to have you make an intuition roll.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll spend karma on this because I obviously needed it. So, all right, 23, incredible. Okay, so my 10 will carry me to a green.
Okay. You do see another little bit of kind of a fire light that's kind of coming from the area up in here.
Oh, okay. So another camp up there. Okay. Wait, up here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And at that point, I think that's when Tank would have made his appearance.
Beautiful. Love it.
and the man in the robe kind of startles at the first bit of dialogue that that human tank dropped on them, and he kind of shifts in his chair and kind of turns and looks and sees this kind of scrawny little man that has emerged from the woods, and the big guy kind of gets up, and when he stands about 10 feet tall. And he just kind of lumbers over towards the peddler here and kind of backs him up just a little bit. And the peddler reaches up and he says, "Oh, no, my albino friend, it is all right. Where did you come from?"
Is he saying that to me?
Yeah.
From quite a long ways away, if you gotta know. Most recently, what city were we in?
Frankfurt.
Most recently, I was in Frankfurt, but that ain't where I'm really from. I think we got some things in common here, like some people we both kind of hate, and like I said, I'm just about wiped. I don't know what's in these woods. I don't get tired just hiking, but I am now. So if you have anything, can I sit down on that bench? I just need to sit.
Yes, come and warm yourself by the fire. Yes.
Thank you.
Now you say that you came from Frankfurt, but not from Frankfurt yourself.
Yeah, I'm really not from around these parts, if you know what I mean.
Now, are you speaking with the earpiece, or are you speaking English?
Can I speak English?
No,
you can.
Can I choose to?
Yeah.
I will try saying, "Do you speak English?"
Yes, I do.
Good. That way I don't keep sounding like a kraut. Okay, yeah. We're kind of here. We're scouting stuff out. I guess I got lost coming into the forest, though. It is tiring. You gotta understand, I'm a healthy guy. I hike a lot, and I don't know what came over me.
Oh, I understand it. The Black Forest has a different effect on people when they come through.
Yeah, it's mysterious.
These are ancient woods, and there are many dangers within the forest. You speak with a American accent, yes?
Yeah, if we're gonna lay our cards on the table.
Very dangerous for someone like you to be wandering through the Black Forest.
Sometimes to do the right thing, you gotta take a couple of risks, you know?
Admirable.
I'm trying to do the right thing here. I really don't know too much about you and what you may be doing here, but I think we got a common foe. And I'm hoping we could work something out. I wasn't.
Well, you intrigued me.
Yeah, really good.
So tell me your story. Who is the common foe to which you are referring to?
Adolf.
Yes, he is a foe, for certain. He hunts us.
Does the Peddler of Doom look like the puppet master we saw?
From the description that Arcane would have given you, yes.
Oh. See, I don't want to push too hard without the rest of my pals here to, say something. So, if anyone wants to jump in now before I spill the beans completely, that would be a good idea.
Do you just say that out loud, or
no? That was a little meta
even better.
comment.
I am a great spy. Is anyone else?
Honestly, Will is just like his brain has frozen. He's just I don't. What is happening? What is happening? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna keep moving from tent to tent to see if I see anything else before
Shelly, I'm gonna go stand in the middle of the firelight with Tank. and get shot. Think well of me.
I don't think any of these people have guns.
I didn't say I was getting shot by a gun.
Oh,
Hey,
um,
how are you?
Mr. Arcane said he was going to continue kind of searching, so I'll deal with a couple of the other
I'll
little
speed it up a little
carriages
bit,
here
I
real
guess.
quick.
I mean, oh God.
This caravan right here.
Yeah.
Again, looks like it may be a female's right here. And this one is kind of adorned with different pelts, like deer, rabbit pelts, stuff like that. But there is a certain kind of feminine quality to the way everything is kind of laid out. The sheets that are on the bed are beautiful silk sheets. So it's kind of contrasting with everything else in there. There's lots of like dried flowers and stuff like that, kind of adorning the walls of this one. This other one right here would be probably the big guy's cart.
Okay.
And again, extremely bare, simple, just a simple, like thin, like 1-inch mattress that's kind of laid out with a big giant pillow for him to lay his big old head on. Very few belongings in here.
Okay.
This one here is like a food cart where they just kind of keep their backup food. So you kind of see that. You also spot there's a couple of horses over here drinking from like a little basin as well.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well, let me know how much I can get through, because I think that's almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's a fire over here, right?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to check that out?
Yeah, I'll check that out, and then I'll probably wind up. Well, I'll check that out first.
Okay. Make an intuition.
Okay, I will again spend karma because I don't want to fuck that up. Oh, hey,
all right.
that'll be 100.
All right.
All right, as you come into this area, you immediately become aware of a presence, kind of off in the trees, just on the outskirts of this little circle of strangely placed rocks. And what you thought was a firelight is actually these rocks that are actually emitting kind of a glow themselves.
Like a witch light or something? Like a...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this woman is strange looking. Her skin is green. She has long green hair. And she wears kind of a crown of like horns, like almost like ram's horns on her head.
Yeah.
And she is seated in a kind of a meditative pose underneath the tree. And as you kind of come into the light, one eye opens and she says, "I see you, visitor."
I see you. I mean, I guess the jig is up. So I'll manifest, right? So I can be seen on the physical plane, even though I'm still immaterial.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll, kind of take a non-threatening, pose, hands out. My friend is speaking with your florist, but we mean you no harm. I take it that was your... I take it you're in charge of them.
Oh, no one here is in charge. We are family.
The matron, then?
Yes.
Well, can we have some sort of understanding? Some sort of accord? Some sort of conversation? This doesn't have to be unpleasant.
Yeah, like I said, we got a lot in common. We have a common enemy. We both want the guy dead. And we certainly don't want him getting more powerful.
You intrigue me, mage. And the mere fact that you surpassed our defenses tells me a little something about you. Come, let's sit by the fire.
Sitting
And
is a very good idea.
she gets up and then floats over to the fire.
All right. Well, I will, while manifest, still like pass through, like, the stuff. And then I'll say a moment, and then I'll wink out and then zip back off to my body and collect. Well, I guess now just Shelly is there, right? Because everybody
Yeah.
else is at the fire.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
actually asleep. Her head is on your shoulder, kind of like propping you up, but
Oh,
you're
no.
propping her up.
So they're like,
Yeah. Oh, oh, hi. You're back.
And
Yeah,
Will,
it's
you
okay.
did say you were going over there, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I pulled you over there if that's all
I
right.
think
Oh, sure.
the jig is up. But they don't seem hostile. Not yet. You can get some beauty rest later.
All right, so the rest of you heading over there?
We're going
Yeah.
in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll come walking back
Yeah.
with a drowsy, I guess, Shelly in tow.
And Shelly, it looks like I need to switch out your token there because you got your old picture there.
Oh,
There you
yep.
go. There's your new one. Sorry about that. I figured it would have already switched over, but apparently it doesn't.
Okay.
All right, so the other two that were seated at the table up to the north have now kind of come down and joined you all by the fire. They look a little bit confused and wary, but following the green woman's lead, they join you guys around the fire there as well. So, travelers, what brings you to our camp?
Well, let's see. Everybody else is kind of asleep. So he kind of looks like, is this cool?
I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Ugh.
Yeah, we need to do this.
It's,
If we
Do you have coffee?
Ooh.
it's your hedge.
No, coffee, not hedge. She left the hedge back at the place.
Yeah.
You know, her
Well,
bush.
so he kind
No,
of
not your
nods
I
and he's
mean-
like, yeah. So anyway,
We have a concoction that can waken you if you trust us.
Mr. Hurricane looks
Sure.
okay. Freely given.
Freely given.
Freely given.
do we
Well,
Okay, sure.
Oh wait, there was the rules. The rules.
well,
Ah,
so we, I mean, surely you can imagine why we might be here.
Well,
There
I can
was,
tell by your accent that you are not with the SS.
no,
and
we are,
I find it very interesting that a group of Americans would be across the border.
We are, troublemakers.
Well, troublemakers, tell me who you are. My name is Margali Zardos, and this is my family. To my
You got a
right,
very interesting family.
to my right here is Maria Rusov.
hello.
She's a little bit of a woman. She's probably maybe about 5'2", and fit but thin. And to her right, Margali introduces Django Maximoff.
Okay.
Uh, the big one across from me here, we just refer to him as the albino. He has no name other than that. And then my friend here, the peddler.
Oh, yes. And his little friends. Oh, which I don't see.
Oh, well, you're familiar with, actually, Django, if you would. And Django pulls out a pair of sticks and begins to kind of weave them in the air. And out from the cart or caravan that's directly behind you guys,
Uh-huh.
you see a group of little
Wow.
marionettes that come out and begin to do a little dance just outside of the fire circle.
There they are. Well, so we have no quarrel with you, but we think you have something that, well, we don't think that the Führer should have.
And what might that be?
Oh.
Pokey thing.
Must we be so coy?
It's a spear thing.
The Spear of Destiny.
Yeah.
It's the Spear of Destiny.
We all know what it is. But I can tell that it's not here. No, that's what he'll say. I can tell it's not here, he says confidently. And we need it, or at least we need to make sure he can't have it. Because if he gets it, well, I don't know. But he shouldn't have it.
Mm.
Well, then I suppose it is quid pro quo.
Deal.
She
Always
looks.
a deal.
Shelley looks over, and I'm like, "What?" She said, "What? It's what? Quid?
It's Latin. It's okay.
I thought that was British money."
You have revealed to us.
Your hair
that-
looks nice.
Thank you. You've revealed to us your purpose here in seeking the Spear of Destiny. But you have not told me who you are or why you seek it.
Okay, that is fair. So my name is Hank. I am obviously an American. Among other things, I guess he could say that now. He kind of thinks about it for a second, and he kind of puffs up a little bit. He says, I am an acolyte of the Ancient One, who is the protector of these realms, of this realm, he says, correcting himself. And, and these are my friends. And we are all here on a mission to save the world.
Mostly from the Nazis, but specifically from Hitler, grabbing up all these crazy things with spooky powers.
We've already achieved some success and thwarted him in obtaining many objects of power. You know there is power in things. I've seen your den, and I've sensed the power that you have, and we must know. You don't seem a bad lot.
A little shady,
With-
but not terrible.
That is very kind of you to say.
Well, I didn't necessarily mean it in a.
We do what we must to survive.
Don't we all?
And it is rare that we trust anyone outside of our circle.
Shelly moves inside of the circle. She just steps right over the line and sits down.
I
I think it was a figure of speech.
will tell you this. I made a mistake myself in trusting someone outside of my circle, which is unfortunately what has brought us to this state that we now find ourselves in. I fell in love not long ago with a beautiful creature. One like I have never seen before. As you can see, and she kind of motions to herself, I am unlike many you have come across. And I am drawn to the strange and the unnatural. The beautiful creature that I fell in love with was a member of a sect of, I suppose, there's no other way to call it, but a sect of demons.
Oh.
He's a leader of the Neophyte, a creature by the name of Azazel.
Uh-huh.
And I and my family were betrayed by my lover. And whether this was his original intent in targeting my affections or just a mere happenstance of the lure of greater power, in order to protect my family, we agreed to abscond with the Spear of Destiny. So, with my magics and with the peddler's fine white roses, we were able to find our way into the barracks of the Nazi camp. We stole the sacred spear, and in agreement, handed it over to my former lover, Azazel. Who then, I believe, took it to an organization in Bucharest known as the Dragon Cult. The cult is led by a man, I understand, known only as the Lord of Death, who apparently recently made a pact with the Neophim.
With who?
The Neophim,
Okay.
the group of demons that my lover was a member of. Now, what his purposes are for the spear, I do not know, but for the lives of my family, I also did not care. Can I get you that coffee now?
That would be great.
Yes, I will. I've taken your story. I will take your drink. Yes.
Just for my own edification, is that the same Azazel from Judeo-Christian myth?
Yeah, actually.
Are you asking her or are you asking me?
So that in character, Will is asking the group.
Okay.
So before you answer that question,
Mhm.
so I have occultist
Mm-hmm.
as a talent, and also, well, the scholar of antiquities probably doesn't apply, but occultist probably might apply.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of these names? I mean, I know some of the things about them, but do any of the things she said like resonate with his knowledge?
Azazel for sure.
Yeah.
And yes, with Judeo-Christian religion.
Yeah.
The Neophim you have certainly heard of as
Yeah.
a sect of demons and often referred to as a sect that is associated with the Christian concept of hell. Um, but this probably would have been more connected probably to maybe Jewish origin.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So now Will ask that, right?
So Will
Yes.
asks it directly.
Mhm.
She says, "My lover is as old as time. Now, whether he is the demon from the scripture or preceded the demon from scripture, I do not know. And whether it is an adopted name or his given, I am also unaware. But he is a powerful demon and a trickster, and he fooled me."
Well, that is a tragic story, but one, I mean, I think we've all heard, right?
I'm sorry that that happened to you.
You are kind.
Well, so Bucharest. Where, I mean, Bucharest is probably a big place. Do
Does
you
anybody
have
know about
any?
this dragon cult thing?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that other guy? The Lord of Death?
That sounds fine.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I feel like
That sounds
him having
fine.
the spear is probably real bad.
It sounds
Yes.
In our travels here in Europe, we have passed through Bucharest from time to time. And there are certainly rumors of this dragon cult. I have heard them myself. And this Lord of Death. The Lord of Death and his dragon circle, I believe they call it, have apparently taken residence in an old castle, fittingly called the Castle of the Dragon. Now, for anyone that know the rumors of this particular castle in Bucharest, this was once a property of Vlad Dracul, the great dragon himself, when he rested on the soil of Bucharest during his many conquests.
Hold on. You mean like Bela Lugosi?
I do not know who that is.
He's a pretender. He's an actor. It's a anyway. Yes. So you're wow. That is a lot. If we go to seek, well, let me rephrase that. When we go to seek them, because we really don't have any choice. Is there anything you'd like us to say to your former lover?
I see the beautiful woman here that you keep company with carries a sword.
She does. Big sword.
If you would so kindly drive it through his heart, I would be most appreciative.
Yeah, you and some of my exes would get along.
Wait. Now I have questions about. I mean, I've had plenty of exes, but I don't think I've ever asked. I mean, I hope they've never asked that.
I generally don't make a habit of killing people, but
I thought you
demons-
said you were from Jersey.
I am.
Then I refuse to believe that.
Oh.
She's so confused. But yeah, I mean, I think demons are a fair game.
Should try hanging out with academics. Anyway, one last question, just because you kind of pinged some of my previous research and a couple of different trips. I don't suppose there's the possibility that, in Castle Dracula, there might be, Dracula.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, Vlad Dracul was buried in his home. This was one of his properties. I would not imagine that he would be buried there.
Oh, good.
But you never know.
You do never know.
Had to be a button. Had to be a button.
I feel like I want to visit the library before we go anywhere.
Yes,
Feel
but not
like-
one near here.
No.
I feel like I want to go to church.
Oh, don't worry. We're always surrounded. It's just on the other side of the veil.
It's not actually as comforting as you might think it sounds.
she's like, what he said.
Yeah.
That's
You just have to
We're
learn how to talk to
surrounded?
them. You just have to learn how to talk to them. Right, madam?
Talk to them. I think
Well,
you will
please?
certainly be in for a fight.
Oh, no. I mean the powers that be. And talk is probably the wrong word. Plead? Beg? Negotiate? Negotiate is a great way to look at it.
I don't know that creatures with ineffable plans so much negotiate.
Most of the time, they don't notice that you're there. And
Yeah.
you can... Well, anyway, that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Sorry you've been put through so much pain. You and your family.
Well, again, I say we do what we must to survive.
True. And he looks around in the middle of
I
the
mean,
Black Forest.
it's
Instead
it's
of-
scary coming in here, but it does have a lot of beauty.
Considering what's going on with you and your people right now, do you need an extraction?
Oh, we could arrange for
We
that.
could help you. I
Probably.
mean, I could. Will looks over at the attractive gypsy girl. Is like, I could personally see to it that you're comfortable on the trip. I mean, it'd be fine.
And the little attractive girl says, "I thank you, darling, but I can take care of myself." And she
Oh, even better.
turns into a werewolf right in
Yeah.
front of you.
He just goes a little pale and goes, "Yeah, I should have seen that coming."
Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
And
The offer. You know what though? The offer stands.
Margali says, "While a demon may have gotten the better of me, I will say that there is not a Nazi that lives that would be able to get the better of my family.
I'm starting to gather that.
Fair enough.
Well, the offer stands. If not that I can imagine you need it, but should you need passage, I guess we could probably talk to someone.
I'm sure we could set
Yeah.
something up. But if not, hey, to the werewolf now, he got just wings and goes, call me.
Oh my god.
If you do travel to Bucharest,
And
When?
we will.
I can think of a young boy that may be able to assist you in some way.
Oh,
Kid?
A member of my dear sister here, Maria's pack, shall we say.
okay. How would we find him?
His name is Alexandru Stoica.
Okay.
Right.
And you should be able to find him working the town square, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think we can figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shelly looks puzzled. Looks at you. They seem to know what she's talking.
He's going
You
to
know
be
what? I'm not
stealing
gonna
from
ask.
people. He's going to be stealing from people on
Oh.
the square. Because that's what he needs to do to get by. I get it. It's
right,
fine.
right. Oh, right. Yep.
No judgment here. This is I mean it's war.
Yep. Hard times. Got to do what you got to do.
So Alexander, how will we know him? Will he have a token? What does he? I mean, Miss, does he look like you? I mean,
The werewolf, Maria,
yeah,
kind of transforms back
Oh.
back to her self, and she shows you on her arm a tattoo of a wolf's paw.
Oh.
And she points to that and she says, "We are all marked with the same tattoo.
I see.
Alexandru will bear it on his left shoulder."
Okay.
Is it something
he-
that he flaunts, or
Will he believe
Yeah.
us?
You will likely have to convince him to show it to you.
Okay.
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 We'll have to drop your name, of course.
That is fine.
Cool. That's great. Yeah.
Well, madam, I confess that we came to your home worried that we were going to have to fight, but I'm glad that we didn't, and that we're leaving with a little bit of kind of an understanding. So,
And feelings of goodwill.
Well,
Yeah.
The coffee
Yeah.
super helped.
Oh, did we finally get that?
yeah, they gave it to us, and Hank had some too. Because if y'all are in for it, I'll get it too.
Oh yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Shelly's all about it.
well, your skinny friend here, I believe, hit the nail on the head when he said, and I'm paraphrasing, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." So, it is rare that someone stumbles upon our encampment and walks away in one piece. But we do have a common interest, and if you are, in fact, looking to pull the Spear of Destiny away from those that have it, then you go with my graces. And make sure it doesn't fall into the hands or back into the hands of Drafur.
Well, that is for certain our goal.
It is. Also, he pulls out a card and hands it to them. If you ever want to discuss anything about your experiences, you can find me at Columbia University. I'd be fascinated to do some work with you.
Well, we don't make it across the pond very often.
You know. Looks back over at Maria. I'm sure we can work something out.
He turns to Shelley. Boy, he's really trying. Huh?
He's, you really have to admire the
tenacity,
determination,
the idiotic persistence. That is correct.
Yeah, that's wow.
And Tank, good instincts, man.
Yeah, thanks. You got a common enemy. You just team up. That's basic logic.
All right, I guess we should probably get back before our cover gets blown.
Yeah.
And I would suggest making it back to town before it gets dark. You don't want to be in the Black Forest at night.
See, I told you.
So I have heard.
It ain't called the Fluffy Kitten Forest.
Fluffy Kitten Forest. That would be so nice.
So the forest said.
Why isn't there a Fluffy Kitten Forest?
Because then everyone would live there.
Got eaten by the Black Forest.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right. She groans and hoists herself to her feet and wobbles a little bit. All right. Okay.
All right. All right,
nice
madam.
meeting you all. And she pats the sword under her jacket. I'll do my best to deliver your message.
I appreciate that. Good travels, good speed, and good luck.
Stay safe.
Safe travels. All right, let's try and make it out of here before the three of you pass out.
Actually, I think we're doing okay now. I did have something I wanted to bring to your attention, I guess, maybe, on the way back, since we're working together, and probably worth mentioning.
Who, me?
Yeah, I think, you might have some professional curiosity or insight. So, funny story, before I hooked up with you guys, for a few years, I was doing jobs for the government, getting into locations to remove objects of interest prior to certain German-inspired folks getting their hands on them first. We were in a race in the Middle East, uncovered an ancient Sumerian temple, as things go. So, funny story, yeah. While I was there, I got cursed. And the thing in the temple partially possessed me. So he takes off the glove he always wears on his left hand, and there's a just horrible burned symbol into the palm. That happened.
Oh no.
That's when all of the weird dark things started to go. And if I do happen to fall unconscious or something like that, in the past, what's happened, from what I'm told from the survivors, is that the
survivors?
That's correct. The thing that's inside of me takes over my body, transforms into a giant darkest night obsidian black nightmare, and murders everyone. So safety tip, that's bad.
Okay.
Who wants more coffee?
Yeah, coffee. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Maybe a cup to go.
Have you? Okay. Are they still? Are we still with them, or are we like in the forest?
Oh no, this
and
is
walking
like
away?
when we're walking back.
Okay. Okay.
Although the demon thing might have
Okay.
upped my chances with that Maria girl, which he does say out loud.
I mean,
I think they've been
So-
burned.
I think
so.
probably.
Yeah,
a
they're
little
full
late
up on
that one.
demons. What kind of entity is it?
My research tells me that it is the Sumerian entity Hanbi.
Do I know anything about that, Chris, or no? Or
You make a reason
okay.
with your occult knowledge.
Okay.
It's
I'll use karma on that too. Sure. Fuck it. Why not? Yeah. All right. 61. I would like to know what thing is going to eat our faces off. Okay, so 10 would put me at a yellow.
What's funny that you guys have the thing with Pazuzu, because Hanbi is actually a related deity.
Oh, good.
Great.
Okay.
Good. So they know each other. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's the personification of evil and lord of all evil forces and the father of Pazuzu. So that's fun.
Great. 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 Okay, so
Also, maybe never let that necklace touch me, just in case.
Which
so
necklace?
we should probably
The amulet of Pazuzu.
Oh yeah.
the icon. Yeah. So we should almost certainly try and get you exercised, right?
Yeah, tried that.
If he's that, I feel
He's
like he's not gonna let go.
He's really in there.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they're
If you can do it, that would be spectacular.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Not I. No, not I.
I thought that was an offer. Okay, so
I mean maybe eventually, but no, I'm a mere journeyman. No, that's beyond my ability, but there
yeah,
are
he
others.
does know people.
it seems like it's got a foot in both this dimension and someplace profoundly dark, frightening, and evil.
So this forest.
No.
So
Tell you what, you remember what happened right in front of the right before we went in to fight the Shadow King, that big inky cloud?
yes.
That. When it gets out,
they get sucked in, and there was the screaming, and then there was no screaming.
yeah. And probably you may have heard like whispering, like if you were close to it.
I wasn't
It's
listening.
really, really incredibly disconcerting.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so maybe we
went
should
away.
consider. Okay, well that gives me an idea.
Okay.
So maybe if when you fall unconscious, maybe if we can temporarily isolate you and
If it looks like I'm about to go down, you should put me on ice. Legitimately. Do
no, I won't
something
do that.
to.
But maybe we can sever that connection temporarily, or at least suspend it. Maybe that will.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I also do not. I'm not there for that part. So the couple of times it's happened, I've heard about it after the fact, and generally have woken up in handcuffs. So.
How long are you usually out?
Yeah, that happens to me too sometimes. Usually it starts in a bar, you know.
If only.
So it's the bar dimension. I think that's a
the bar
different thing,
dimension.
Tank.
So it doesn't seem like it happens when I've drunk myself into a stupor. So that's nice.
So it's only when your soul is weak.
That seems
Right.
like that's the case. I become damaged. Like, for instance, if those roses had put us to sleep, I don't know what would have happened, and it didn't occur to me that might. Otherwise, I would have
Wait.
told you before.
Does this happen when you go to sleep?
No, not when I'm asleep.
Oh. Whew. Okay.
But when I've never been forced to sleep before, and I don't know if that's enough of an opening for it to slither through.
That is very troubling.
Who are you telling?
really troubling. Yes, but nothing happens to you. It would be to us.
Doesn't it?
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Whatever that thing does, I'm responsible for.
Well, I understand that. Okay. This is fine. This is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
We just need to make sure that won't happen.
Mhm.
And if it does happen, maybe we've got some ideas.
I mean, we could brainstorm some stuff. It's bigger than me, stronger than me, faster than me, tougher than me. But it's not as smart. So you've got that going.
Well, it's not really. Okay. All right. That's fine. It's fine. Possessing entity. Okay.
Yeah.
I know spells for that.
That's good.
But I mean, theoretically, there are spells for that. I know there are.
I mean, you seem very capable, so I have every faith that there are potentially spells for that.
There are. I don't know.
I don't think we need to share the rest of that sentence. The rest of that sentence is fine where it is.
Okay. All right. So if you are driven unconscious, this
Yes.
is a possibility.
Oh no, it's a certainty if I'm driven unconscious.
Okay. So Plan B, Tank, is if that happens before he flips out, you pick him up and you throw him as hard as you can at the bad guys.
Okay.
My understanding is that it goes after whatever is handy. So that's
Perfect.
actually not a terrible plan.
Perfect. And then that'll give us a few minutes to figure it out.
Right.
Well, I think also like it's important to note that if we stop you from getting hurt,
That's good.
then
yeah.
not a problem.
It's not always an option.
Tank and
Well,
I,
mean, that goes without saying. Hey,
we
can it
have that
fly?
information now.
Can it fly? Not to my knowledge.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. Great. Good.
Well,
Great.
it's a
Great.
god, right?
Great.
I mean, it's at least
Some
part
gods
of a god,
don't fly.
and it hasn't been worshipped in a really long time, which seems like it might have some
that's
effect on it.
good. I wonder what
Good.
Horus has to say
Good.
about that. Ooh,
Good.
I
How
don't
much
know.
do you weigh,
Maybe
Tank? Just
Oh,
out of
no.
curiosity. Any idea, Tank? How much you weigh again?
Well, in my battle form, what I tank on about 500, 600 pounds.
600. Okay. 600. Okay. All right, Shelley. I won't ask. That would be rude. Okay. 600 ish.
She's like $110, $120 tops.
Okay. I would never presume to make any estimations.
she's 6 feet tall. She's a little more than that.
He don't want to get his ass kicked. He said what he said.
Yeah. No, I
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm not sure she knows.
Probably not.
Yeah, she probably doesn't know.
Wait a minute. No,
okay.
she's been through the whole army thing. She definitely knows.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
a
that's
good point.
true. Yeah,
Good
but you know
point.
what? She had a bullet in her head at the time.
I mean, she may not
probably does
remember.
not
That's
really
fair.
Remember, she had feeble reason when she started
That
this.
is fair. She
She
looked
was
at the Hulk and was
Swamp
like,
Thing.
"He am genius."
Best use of karma ever.
I'm just looking, just to see how much I could lift. Just out of
In case it
No
becomes
reason.
pertinent.
we can lift off and Okay.
Whole pin on fiend, drop on enemy.
Okay, you know what? This is fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
How long does it
that-
take for him to tucker himself out? This guy.
I'm
This,
unclear.
days.
I don't think it's ever been days, but it definitely well into the hours. Or
Okay.
then again, maybe it's just always gotten put down by somebody before it's been that much longer. I don't know.
Okay.
The idea of it
I've-
being loose is not a pleasant thought, honestly.
I've got a great plan. It's a great plan.
That's excellent.
Got a great plan. I will
So
fly the three of us out.
don't tell me what it is.
Yes.
You know, just in case.
I
In case it's
even
listening.
armored. I think yes. Yep. Yes.
Well, let's put it this way.
Definitely.
I didn't have any of these
Definitely.
abilities before this happened to me. Which means
Oh, so this is the nature of your enhancement.
my guess is that all of the powers and abilities that I have are bleed through from things that this can do, which means it may be better at them than me. I'm also not sure how much it knows about what happens when it's not driving.
Do you think he's listening?
It's possible.
That ain't good.
Does that thought keep me up at nights? Yeah.
Have you ever tried to communicate with it?
Yeah.
And
It's not pleasant.
so you can communicate with it.
So I learn. So the reason why it's hard for telepathy to work on me is because I had a lot of training resisting anything internal, trying to push its way up. If I let that open up, I would posit that I could probably communicate with it. I have not attempted to do so since I
mean,
learned the thing because it seemed like it was an unnecessary risk.
would you? I mean, would you want? I mean, what would you say?
What would I say?
Yes, that's the question.
Stop it.
What would you
But
say?
you know,
What would you say? Please go. No,
Yeah,
thank
that-
you.
Go home.
Marvin came. Oh wait, no, Dr. Seuss hasn't written that yet.
And listen, you know, I mean, not to put. I mean, obviously, this is happening while we're walking,
Yes.
but and not to put too fine a point on this, but if you could be free of this, would you? I mean, I've seen the things you can do. I mean,
The
there
powers
are benefits.
there are benefits, and the powers are very useful. And if there were a way to be rid of the demon and keep the powers, that would be great. But if there's not, I would get rid of it in a second.
Okay.
It's just too dangerous.
I mean, after this is done, I mean,
We'll see what we
Who
can do,
knows?
but they told me that the government has had top men working on it. So
Oh, I've heard that before.
about what?
I don't remember.
top
It was,
man,
I remember the
think.
phrase "top men," and then they handed me the outfit, and then told me to fix my hair. I think. I'm not sure.
My story is quite simple. I did some studying, and
See, that
that's pretty
sounds
much
like
it.
that sounds like a much better approach.
No tragic backstory. No, I mean, not especially. Just right place, right time.
You know
And
what the
years
really
of study.
you know what the really irritating thing is about the entire situation? It's my fault because I translated something incorrectly. Looking back at the translation, it was very clear that if I touched it, that I would carry the evil with me for all time. I
mean,
thought, you know, Sumerian's not the easiest language to get.
well, you know, is that true, or was that already some of this influence? You said he's
That's
powerfully psychic.
If it was that influence, it's even more terrifying because I was in Colombia when I was doing that translation. That was not an on-site item.
I mean, entities can reach far and wide. I mean,
I will bow to you on that because the only entity I really have any familiarity with is the one that's riding shotgun.
well, I'm aware, but they are not. I mean, all of us are beneath their notice for the most part.
It's better that way.
It is. It absolutely is. I mean, because even the Vishanti are I mean, while I would consider them benevolent, but I mean, they are alien, and their wants and designs are very different. I borrow their power only because they don't need it. They
Right.
don't notice that I'm even there. I think.
So basically, it's like you're shoplifting a candy bar from a big store that won't miss it.
It's not stealing. It's
Do
You're
they get the
borrowing
power
an
back?
extra wrench.
it's like making use of stuff they drop. It's not
Ah.
stealing from them. It's excess.
So almost like a hydroelectric dam. The water's
What if we
flowing,
do
you're
what?
just gonna channel
Oh
some
yeah,
of the
sure.
power.
Yeah, so sure. I just divert.
Yeah.
A tiny bit of their power. And as long as it's generally along the their ethos, right? They are orders. They are entities of order, and there are alignments, right? There are
I think you're selling yourself
cosmic
short.
axis.
I think they know
axes.
exactly who you are, and they like you. Remember, when we were fighting those guys, he showed up.
Well,
I mean, that was a big deal. Like, nobody didn't notice the giant, glowing, green, magical tiger in the room.
Yeah.
well,
I take it that's not a metaphor.
No,
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
A metaphor? Your hair looks really nice.
Well, at this
how
point,
about his-
you guys
his
are
power?
probably coming out of the forest at this point, and it's beginning to just edge on the verge of dusk at this time. I think, Will, you had mentioned at one point back there about maybe trying to do a little bit of research on the Castle of the Dragon.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it here.
Mhm.
Partially because I don't speak German. So
So your driver was to basically just kind of hang out until you guys came back, and whether that was tonight or tomorrow or whatever the case may be, he was going to be near the truck. So when you guys do end up back in town, a few minutes pass, and then he actually walks out of the bar, and then kind of shakily weaves over to you just a little bit, and he says, so you are ready to go back?
yes, because drunk driving hasn't been invented yet. It'll be fine.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is fine. And he loads you all up in the truck. It has you put your belongings back in the trunk in the bar, and then takes you back to base, where you will find Heinrich Bruhl waiting at the barracks for you. And he's waiting outside. The rest of the soldiers have kind of gone in for the night and are starting to kind of prepare for bed. So he meets you all outside. And I guess we don't have to go through the whole process of debriefing on this, but I assume you kind of tell him roughly kind of what the plan is, where the spear probably is. And he tells you, well, I believe that you've met my driver. The other gentleman that I was traveling with, Franz, is a skilled pilot. I know of a small airstrip not far from here that we could probably get our hands on a smaller plane. Have any of you parachuted before? I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, no.
I have multiple PhDs. I don't think
I actually may
Parachuting
have. I was
qualifies.
on the North African front. I probably did do some parachuting.
Well, then, I'm afraid, because of the territory that we are in, it would not make much sense, and I do not have any contacts in Bucharest for us to be able to land. But I think it would be best if we were to take you in, that we would fly you there and toss you out of a plane.
I'm going to say this again. I'm so excited to be a part of this plan. There's so many great plans tonight.
Really, parachuting is not that difficult. One just has to jump.
Says the man who's staying in the plane.
And then fly.
Count to 100 and then pull the rope.
That seems like too long to count.
I wouldn't count too quickly.
What happens if you count too quickly?
Well, the parachute opens too soon, and you get caught in an updraft, and you'll never know exactly where you'll end up.
Oh, okay.
Or you could just fly.
You could just fly.
I mean, some of us can.
Oh, maybe you can make us all fly.
I can carry
I can fly.
all of you.
I forgot.
Oh my god.
That just happened.
I totally forgot.
And she had honestly forgotten. She only tried it the one time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I can fly."
See?
How do you?
That's two.
That's
That's half of us.
Such pretty hair. Such pretty hair.
See, now I'm starting to think it's not a nice thing when he says it like that.
I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, honestly, I really like it when people like my hair. So I'm just gonna take it as a compliment, regardless. I don't care.
That is the best approach.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, off to Bucharest. What, in the morning
I think at night, probably.
Well,
or now?
honestly, it would probably behoove us not to even go back into the barracks, if you ask me. So perhaps let's
Back to the
all
bar.
get back in the truck. I will radio ahead and make the arrangements for the plane. And we should be able to take flight by midnight tonight.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Bucharest.
You know, to the castle of Dracula.
I've always wanted to see a real castle.
Not sure I've ever wanted to see that one.
I don't drink wine. So, there was a point not all that long ago in my life when I would have probably laughed at the idea of actual, vampire guy.
Mhm.
But that was before I spent, a couple of days fighting mummies.
Well, and
Well, but
also
that's-
that was before we worked with a vampire.
That's
yeah, good
true.
point.
You worked with a vampire?
Briefly.
Very briefly. He bit me.
Well, I mean, No, I believe it's true. I believe he was definitely a vampire.
He did really bite me.
Okay.
Wasn't that when you were possessed?
Yeah.
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 Was the possession before or after being bitten?
It's Pazuzu.
Before. He
Okay.
bit me while I was possessed.
So that was during.
It's a good excuse, I guess.
Okay.
It was definitely during.
Well, yeah. Well, after I became possessed, because when I was not possessed anymore, I had the bite, and yeah.
Well, fortunately, good news. You did not turn, right?
Right.
Can't say my studies are deep in that, but that is a risk. and thankfully, he knocks on something, and thankfully, that didn't happen.
I have not developed a craving for tomato juice anytime in the recent past.
Still like the sun. Good.
Yeah, very much so.
Good. Good. Good.
All right, so you all take a little bit of time to kind of gather up your stuff. The trunk is delivered back to the barracks. You guys meet up with that, gather all your belongings, load back up on the truck with Hans. Hans drives you to the little secluded airstrip, and Franz is there waiting for you with the plane.
Wait, did we just say Hans and Franz?
Yes, yeah. Those
Yes.
were the. If you remember, those were the two guys that were on the train with.
Yes.
And they
Kind
are
of
going
forgot.
to pump you up.
I kind of forgot.
The king of the Easter egg.
And so you guys end up getting on the plane. Brule has to stay behind, but he says that once you hopefully reclaim the spear, the intent is to meet back with Peggy Carter back at the base in France, where you guys would have met, originally, not the base, but the tavern there in France, to kind of debrief and figure out, where to go from there. So he will make plans to return within 2 days' time to France to meet with you all, hopefully with spear in hand. And you guys begin your journey in the dead of night over to Bucharest. And
Before we take off,
yeah,
Will's like, just to clarify, you want us to take the spear to the tavern?
it's the
Okay.
common meeting place.
Okay.
I can't think of
Where-
anywhere else.
Where else would we? I mean,
in New York, people give you a side eye when you bring in an umbrella. I'm just saying.
well, it's not the whole spear, right? It's just the spearhead.
Spearhead is the part that holds the power. Yes,
I would say that is the important part. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, so did the copy have a shaft attached to it, or was it just
No.
the spearhead?
Just
Yeah,
the
okay.
spearhead. Mhm.
I
So,
apologize.
I
I
mean,
was picturing the whole shebang.
It's the size of maybe a large dagger. I mean, short sword.
About the size of your forearm.
So,
All right, so you guys take off into the dead of night and off into the clouds, and then we'll kind of call it for tonight before you guys end up in Bucharest. So I will pass out some karma for you all. Everybody except for Human Tank gets 200 karma points, and Human Tank, for using his mouth instead of his fists, gets 300. I'm going to give you an
Wow.
extra 100 for that
Sweet.
tonight there.
Thank you. What the heck is my character?
With this being the third time that I've run it, this is the first time that the party decided just to talk to the gypsies.
Nice.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw the combat order up there. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna get real.
They're like, hey, let's not get premature here now. We
I think honestly, marginally failing those rolls was the trick, because we didn't go in there cocky, and so we weren't really looking to scrap.
And I'm going to do something for you guys here too. Let me just rearrange something here real quick so that you can see this. So this
okay.
potentially could have been, like, you see all of the little marionettes that I brought out.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Mr. Maximoff, and yes, that name should ring a
Yep.
bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so does Margali.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Has illusion casting and doppelgangers. So he can create up to 6 duplicates of himself.
Wait.
And
lovely.
then our friend Maria Rusoff, which that name might ring a bell there as well. Rusoff is the last name that becomes Russell in the Marvel universe. So Jack Russell, the werewolf by night, yeah, that's his grandmother, I believe. She had her little wolf companions there as well. And I gotta tell you, like, the moment that Human Tank was moving in to speak, the wolves were getting ready to move in. I had actually rolled a perception check for the wolves, and they had just sensed you guys just as Human Tank was going in. So narrowly escaped that.
Nice.
But that was some good role play, though, guys. Good job. That
Yes.
that was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great session. Yeah, definitely. Definitely some good character development and stuff in there.
For sure. All right. Well, guys, thanks as always for playing. It was good playing with you guys, and then I'll see you again in 2 weeks when we
Right on.
raid Castle the
Dracula.
Castle of the Dragon. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds cool.
All right. Have a
I
good
nothing
night.
to worry
See
about.
you in 2 weeks.
All right. See ya.
He
Have a
doesn't
good
like
night, boys.
blondes,
Okay.
right?